chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets. So I don't know if you guys watched the Pro Bowl this weekend, right? But it was entertaining. It wasn't the worst vehicle I've seen. Why they were ever playing real tackle football and Sean Taylor was killing kickers in an exhibition game never made sense, even though that's an awesome hit, right? I love Sean Taylor, RIP, all that stuff. But it doesn't make any sense. But the worst part was the representatives, right? So for the AFC, your three quarterback options were Derek Carr. Derek Carr's fine, right? Fine. Trevor Lawrence, fine. And Tyler Huntley.
So Derek Carr basically is getting cut from his team, right? They decided they didn't want to pay him his contract that they agreed to. And we're like, oh, we're just going to start some scrub at the end of the year, and you can sit on the bench, buddy. What was the second guy you said? It was Trevor Lawrence? He deserved it. He deserved it. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback this year. I mean, he didn't have the best season of all of the quarterbacks in the AFC, obviously. But, he's not Patrick Mahomes, or he didn't get
Joe
a bunch
Burrow
of
or Josh Allen.
Yeah, or Tua.
I think the whole point is that none of the quarterbacks that actually make the Pro Bowl want to go to the Pro Bowl. So they're like, no thanks. And then they're like, oh, half the league turned it down. So now we're giving backups Pro Bowl spots.
I honestly think Huntley, did they do the thing? I didn't watch Pro Bowl this year. Did they do the thing that they used to do where they wear their team's jersey in the Pro Bowl? Because they probably just picked Huntley because they thought the fans would think it was Lamar Jackson.
They just here's low budget Lamar.
Yeah, there's a Ravens.
That's probably what they call him.
All the people in Kansas City that booed Unity watching the Pro Bowl would be like, "Oh, there's a black guy in a Ravens jersey taking the snap."
Oh,
it's probably Lamar Jackson.
Guys, let's hit the open here. Let's chug a beer, and I'm going to tell you guys a funny joke I heard from SNL, surprisingly, while we chug a beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mike White had the same stats as Tyler Huntley, just in case anyone was wondering. Mike White didn't get an invite.
So on SNL, they're doing the news talk bit, and Colin Jost goes, "This will be the first Super Bowl with two brothers facing off against each other, with Travis and Jason Kelce. But according to my uncle, there's another pair of brothers that's the reason he's not watching, that are facing off in the Super Bowl, not being the two black quarterbacks." I thought it was a good joke.
You know who had better
I might
stats
have set it up too much
than Tyler Huntley? Teddy Bridgewater. You can have Teddy in there. 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, 680.
Al, sorry to go back to this, but was that one of those jokes that the other dude writes for him? So he's like,
yes. Yeah, I thought that was obvious. If not, then yes, I'm not just racist.
I love when they trade. That's my favorite
Yeah.
part of SNL, and it's so funny. It's lazy.
Yeah, the bit where they have to write really uncomfortable jokes for each other, and it's always way worse for Colin.
Yeah.
You could have
I
Deshaun
can never
Watson.
remember. Jay's really good at that shit, man. They're the two best at the weekend update thing. Let's get off of that.
Yeah, that's what we call weekend update. We should talk about why do they have to limit the Pro Bowl to AFC, NFC? Why don't they just, the fifth best quarterback in the AFC is Tyler Huntley. Why don't they swap him out for a better quarterback in the NFC? Why does it have to be conference versus conference? Why do you have to win your division to make the playoffs? You know, that whole bullshit. They're always like,
I mean, if everybody's saying no to
division.
If everybody's saying no to going, I would just send out the invite. Let fucking the best quarterback from college come and play.
Oh,
yeah, just send out the invite to every player in the league. First 5 guys there for each position are on the team. Everyone else has to get the fuck out.
Dude, I'd be done if Jake Haener was out there slinging in the Pro Bowl.
I just simply Googled it, and it said the reason why Tua wasn't there is because they were afraid he'd get a concussion in a flag football game.
That's true. You would have.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Oh, for sure.
You could have had Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had better numbers than Tyler Huntley. Look, the point is, I'm sorry I'm belaboring this. Tyler Huntley completed 67% of his passes, which is good, but they were only for 5.9 yards an attempt, which is not good. And he had 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. I'm happy for Tyler Huntley. I'm not trying to besmirch him, but I'm saying you could have thrown a dart at any AFC quarterback roster and any quarterback room and probably hit a more qualified candidate.
Hey, careful when you're throwing darts behind you there, Matt. You might hit something sensitive.
I almost got hit in the neck.
Matt's virtual background, unless he's actually there at Tom Brady's place, I don't know. Tom Brady is sitting on a bed in slightly darker and skin tone underwear with his nipples and cell phone and hand covering his junk. And Matt's head is hovering right around that crotchal region.
I just like to be close to what I love. I like to be close to what I love. I want it right over my shoulder. It makes me feel secure.
Tom Brady's belly and nipples look like they're making this face.
That's true. Kind of looks like Groot.
Yeah, it kind of does, like baby Groot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm never going to be able to unsee that. Thanks, Al.
It's just going to be his new nickname when he's like announcing NFL games. He's just Groot.
Well, I guess we should do welcome to ChuggieBets. We got Andy above me, Sunshine in the middle, calling from Norway, or I guess the opposite of Norway, Argentina, where the sun's always up. Al in the corner.
Right.
Andy's representing the great retirement of Tom Brady with the fat face Michigan picture, and I got Tom Brady's dick behind my shoulder because he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Matt, just so you know, the way when the world spins, Argentina's on the same side as us. You got to go to the other side of the world to get the sun.
Oh no, I was saying because it's further south. It's closer to the South Pole in the winter. But yes, you're right. I guess he could be in Sydney. He's calling in from Sydney today.
Just that was an important correction to make, that if it's dark here, it's also dark in Argentina.
That's true. Thank you.
Speaking of a globe around Earth, did you guys see the joke I sent you guys earlier about? I guess Kyrie got traded to the Mavs and he's going to wear number 2. That's one.
No.
Yeah, the number 2 is significant because it's one for each dimension of the Earth.
Yeah, it's a great joke. It's a great joke.
It is a flat
I also
earther.
saw somebody on Twitter say sending Kyrie to Texas is not going to do anything to convince him that the Earth is not flat. Because if you've ever been to that part of Texas, it is fucking flat.
That part. Well, yeah.
I'm
Pretty much all of
surprised
Texas
Dallas
is flat
made
shit.
the move. You guys heard that he wanted to go to LA and LeBron really wanted him all this.
Yeah.
Can you think of a worse place in the United States for an anti-Semite to go to than Los Angeles, where there's like clearly a lot of Jewish people and like a lot of
probably
Tel
the
Aviv?
only worst place would be where he's sleeping.
Boca Raton.
Aventura would be.
Okay, I'm saying like the Heat wanted him too. There was a lot of soulless Heat bastards, and I may have been one of them. That would have been okay.
North Miami Beach, Matt. North Miami Beach.
I understand. I'm saying, the Lakers, him and the Lakers would have been a funny like melding, and it goes to show you like the things you'll ignore for winning a championship for the shit.
He doesn't fancy himself an anti-Semite though. He just says anti-Semitic things, not knowing they're anti-Semitic. He's
like Arian Foster, but like worse.
He's just dumb. He's like the way our parents are racist. They don't know they're being racist. They're just dumb.
Well, you saw Meyers Leonard just finally released an apology. I don't know if he was trying to get back in the league. They're like, well, Kyrie's getting traded. Myers is back. Sorry, Andy, you want to defend your boy?
He apologized at the time it happened. He just came back again and said, I've really learned a lot. I'm ready to join the league again. So it didn't take him a year and a half to apologize. He dropped a K-bomb on somebody while playing online video games. Right? Yeah.
That was actually dumb. He didn't even know what that meant. That was actually dumb. He did deserve to lose his job. He wasn't very good, but you should really know what your slurs are when you
really. No, I disagree. I'm not saying ignorance is an excuse, right? But I think Kyrie's more weaponized with his language. Where Myers is just an idiot, right? Both should be penalized. Like you can't forgive either one of them. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Kyrie is better because Myers was dumb.
They're both dumb.
I agree. Let's say on the level of dumbs, right?
Kyrie's is worse because Kyrie, there's more hate behind it. I think. I don't think
There's more
Meyers
intent.
Leonard meant anything.
I think Meyers Leonard thought he was using the equivalent of asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just
Myers Lemon.
He's just
'Cause
too
they
dumb
don't-
to know what he was saying.
It's not a large Jewish population in Champaign-Urbana in central Illinois. You know?
Yeah. Sounds like Myers Lemon's pretty salty about it, pretty sour on the whole topic.
I don't understand.
Citrus joke. Citrus joke.
If you're not,
You don't know about a Meyer Lemon?
Look, if you're not
I thought you thought his last name was Lemon. I was very confused.
I'm gonna like kind of defend Kyrie here. If he's not an educated person, okay. A lot of these conspiracy theories are designed to target people exactly like him, right? People who are inherently smart but just are uneducated, and they want to quote unquote do their own research, but don't really have the time to like actually learn all of the history behind it. So they do some light research, right? So he just gets tricked by stuff, and then he like thinks he knows more than he does. And once he thinks he has the answer, and somebody shows him something else, he will not change his mind because he thinks he already has the answer. So I can kind of understand where he's coming from on some of this stuff, but like, come on, man, you're just so wrong on everything all the time. Like, just stop being so wrong on everything all the time.
I think he's like intentionally stupid. I don't think he's actually that stupid. I think he says the shit to like cause.
Because he's thoughtful. He's thoughtfully stupid, which is such a weird way to be stupid.
It is.
Because he has to like to learn the things that he's stupid about. He has to read. He has to read. It's not just YouTube videos. He has to actually read this stuff. He can't just like watch YouTube videos to learn the way he's dumb. He has to actually read books.
No, you totally can watch YouTube to learn how to be anti-Semitic, Danny. That's like YouTube's whole thing.
Yeah, but it's not just. It's not the way he's. All right. Yes, you are correct. But the way he's anti-Semitic and the theories that he subscribes to are deeper than just. I mean, I'm sure there's YouTube videos about it, but it seems like he's reading these books that he's quoting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
although he is posting tweets and quotes from movies that he says he didn't watch, so maybe he is just that fucking dumb.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's just a huge troll. He like gets a little hard on, a little baby boner off of it.
You think he intends to say racy things, right? Like just to upset people? Al?
Yeah.
I definitely think he fancies himself a smart guy. He did pick Duke when he could have
I
gone
think he's like me in a lot of ways, where like he just leans hard into a take that he doesn't even fully believe in, just to like piss people off.
That's why we're friends, bud. I lean on the other side because I just like having the conversation sometimes.
No.
Reminds me of the 6 years of college. Cheers.
Nobody's more educated than us.
Oh, yeah.
True. All right, what are we talking about here, boys?
So Sean Payton's going to Denver. I assume everybody saw that.
I did not see that. That's fucking.
How much was the trade? I know. So New Orleans retained the rights of Sean Payton. So are they giving? Does Denver have picks? Didn't they give them all to Seattle?
I think they gave them a first and they swapped a third for a second, so it's slightly less than a first rounder is what the trade is.
They gave him a first round pick for Sean fucking Payton.
Yep. Yeah.
You guys remember when the Dolphins got Bill Parcells and we were really excited about Bill Parcells, and we realized Bill Parcells, it's not that fucking great, right? Like it really, the Jimmies and Joes matter, right? They're super important.
Parcells is pretty good at getting Jimmies and Joes. It's just hard to win in this league. I think Bill Parcells was a good signing for the Dolphins. Same way when we got Jimmy Johnson, it was a good signing for the Dolphins. It just didn't work out long term.
Yeah, I don't. Point,
actually, it did work out long term when we got Jimmy Johnson. He got Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor, and they played for us forever. That was awesome. That was a great draft. That was a great draft. And he got Sam Madison and Pat Surtain. That guy knew how to find Jimmies and Joes in the draft. And on defense, anyway.
Sean Payton, he probably will make Russell Wilson better. I just look. We all agree Nathaniel Hackett's bad, right? As a head coach, he's. I mean, I know Al agrees. He's terrible. So, I'm just curious to see how much better this Denver team will be with Sean Payton at the helm. Like, are they 3 wins better? Like,
they'll be better if Russell Wilson's healthy and good again. If he was ever good in the first place without Pete Carroll. like he probably was, right? He probably, like, the injuries are probably some of why he was bad, and then probably the, like, social media getting in his head is probably some of why he was bad. He'll probably be good again. I mean, Sean Payton can coach a quarterback with a weak arm that was really accurate. That kind of describes Russell Wilson.
So I saw something today. Apparently, this past year, Russell Wilson was bringing his own trainers and coaches into the locker room with him, like guys that he had hired apart from the team, and they were coming into the locker room with him. And somebody asked Sean Payton about it, and he was like, "I've never heard of that. I don't know what happened last year, but we will have our coaches and our players in the locker room. That's just not happening here." So right off the bat, I wonder if that's going to piss off
stupid
Russ
to let that happen.
Yeah, agreed. But I mean,
well, if you stop letting that happen, you can lose Tom Brady and have to sign old ass Cam Newton, who can't play anymore, to try and run out your career and then you have Matt Jones.
Yeah, but they traded a first round pick for you, and they're going to pay you a fuck ton of money and guarantee most of it.
No, that's why Tom Brady left New England. It was because they wouldn't let his little
Guerrero.
weird trainer follow him into the locker room and whatever, jerk Tom Brady off while he's drinking water or whatever.
Why does he need to be in the locker room?
He was injecting him with steroids.
He was.
Did anybody think there was anything other than that?
It had to have been. He wasn't slapping tomatoes out of Tom Brady's hand, so his nightshade level didn't get off. It was steroids.
Don't eat the strawberry, Tom.
I care for you.
I mean,
yeah. So
I don't care if he did steroids. He was fucking awesome.
Oh, I agree. I think everyone should do steroids. I want people hitting as hard as possible. If we're going to accept the violence that's in the NFL, let's lean all the way in.
I disagree, Matt. Offensive players only for steroids. Defensive players. Okay. I want defensive players at every disadvantage in football.
Okay, sure. I like high scoring sports.
I think it would be way healthier if the
safeties. What if instead of salary caps, they had weight caps?
Ooh. Yeah, there's talk of that actually.
Like boxing,
really?
Like classes?
To make the game safer. To
I just made it up. I thought.
No, to like, depending on where you line up on the field when you start, to have different weight caps, and it would be like 300 pounds for the line and like 220 for like the backfield or something like that. It was they were talking about that to like make the game safer. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but
I think it will make the game safer. Right? Like, that's the reason they have weight classes in boxing. If you had a heavyweight going against a lightweight, they would just get absolutely pummeled and die, right?
The game would be dangerous in a different way. It would be probably safer on the field, but it would be more dangerous in prepping for it.
That's true. Yeah. People are cutting weight. People are just like massively shedding weight before the game. Does it like taking steroids Monday through Thursday and then just fasting for the rest of the week?
I don't even think they'd have to fast. They just have to eat like a normal person.
Well, they dehydrate themselves. They do the
that's not fun. Yeah,
your solution sucks though. Steroids for everyone. Yeah. Biggest, strongest, fastest.
No, offensive players only, because then the defensive players can't give everybody the concussions. No James Harrison's on defense. We only want the steroided guys playing wide receiver. We want David Boston's out there and AJ Brown's. No accusations. No reckless speculation here.
All right. Is there any football this week?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Chelsea plays. Chelsea.
Oh, football.
Hey, can we talk about that real quick? Can Jurgen Klopp just shut the fuck up now? He likes to run his lips a lot about everyone else's team, but boy, that Liverpool team looks bad. It looks like he's focused on everybody else except for Liverpool. Sorry, we can go back to NFL.
Well, I wonder how smart like his comments are going to be, since like they've been ass.
Oh, dude, losing the Wolves 3-0. It's great. And as a Chelsea fan who's had to deal with a bad year, it's been great. It's comforting to see Liverpool struggling simultaneously. It's good to see us both suck. But I just don't want to hear his veneered mouth bumping his gums any fucking more about spending money. He spent $100 million on the striker, Nunez, Darwin, and obviously it's not working out. Everybody's spending money. Just spend money smarter.
Well, some people are spending money illegally.
Oh, you want to talk about that? I didn't read everything that went into that. I am not the most educated here.
Oh, well, Man City got caught Man City got caught basically inflating their sponsorship revenue through they're owned by the Saudis or whatever, through related companies, and then deflating some of their expenses so they could spend more through the financial fair play rules for over a decade. And they've broken over 100 rules, and apparently their punishments can include banishment from the Premier League. I doubt that that'll actually happen, but they're talking about this happened to them 2 or 3 years ago, where they were banned from the Champions League, but then they challenged it in court and won. So that ban didn't happen. They only had to pay some fine, and then they were able to get back in it. So they're definitely going to fight it, but it's kind of a big deal because it was for 10 plus years. Yeah, that's basically what's going on right now. They're gonna appeal though.
So, Danny, you and I are fans. We are a fan of a team that just spent an egregious amount of money in both transfer windows. I don't necessarily want that to happen, or I don't want to throw dirt on their graves because I don't want it to come back to me. Kind of karmatically.
So the difference is when you first purchase a team, there's an amount of money that you can invest in the team, like when you first buy it, and that goes into your books, right? So they invested an extra $700 or whatever, $800 million. Plus there was that loan forgiven of $1 billion or whatever from Abramovich.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of money invested in the team when they purchased it that doesn't count of their income that they're allowed to spend. So basically, Bowley has found a loophole for Chelsea to put all this extra money in when he first bought the team, and then buy these young players and sign them all to like 10-year contracts, which is no longer going to be allowed in the Premier League as of next year. You're only going to be allowed 5-year contracts. So he's kind of doing one of the things he did with his team with the Dodgers, which was like finding, basically what they did is sign pitchers to really, really good pitchers to really expensive short-term deals, and really, really good hitters to long-term deals when they're young that ended up being value. So
hey man, I'm glad. I'm here for the ride. I just thought it was interesting. Question about Man City. I don't want them to be relegated. I think that would suck, right?
It's probably not going to happen. They may end up like just like kind of a Juventus style penalty that we were talking about, where they end up just mid-table and they don't get to go to Champions
I don't think they should go to Champions League next year. Either way, right?
It'd be a huge revenue penalty for them.
Yeah, and look, they clearly have the money to skirt it around shell companies or however they were getting the money around. Right? I understand it was like probably promotional funds and shit. Like, hey, if you sign with us, we'll give you $40 million to shoot one commercial, kind of NIL-ish.
One example would be, and I don't even know if this was technically illegal, but that Haaland contract, right, where they bought him for $60 million, his contract, but then they raised his wages immediately to like, I think it was like $30 million a year, $34 million a year, or something like that. So that is $170 million, which I guess don't count as being on their books because they raised his wages after. And this $60 million fee only counts on the books because it was a buyout clause that was agreed to with Haaland and Dortmund, right? So Dortmund only gets the $60 million. Plus, they somehow gave his dad $25 million and the agents like $100 million. So that $25 and $100 million doesn't go on the books.
That's good. But
they spent it.
Oh, no. I get it. I get what you're saying.
So these are the ways they do like these creative accounting things. This is what I was like chatting with some people in fucking Discord about, trying to figure out what the hell they're actually doing. And this isn't even the stuff they got caught for. This is just something that he thinks is like the kind of like these
sports accountant Discord.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd.
What a place. What a time to be alive in sports accountant Discord. But it's an interesting story. I don't want them in Champions League. And speaking of Champions League, after the Super Bowl next week, Champions League is back. And I'm going to hit you with so many picks. So come back next week if you guys like free money. If you hate free money, don't come back. But
if you want to lose, I'll be giving up picks too.
No, Danny, you're pretty good on soccer picks.
Yeah, but we're just gonna ride the fact that I'm the guy you fade because of my football picks I gave out this year.
Wrong football, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys want to talk about a couple retirements before we get to the dicked person behind my shoulder? AJ Green retired. Great receiver for a long time. Georgia
5-year run of one of the best.
Let's pour one out for old
Cincinnati,
AJ
I'll
Green.
drink a beer to AJ Green. I don't know if anyone has anything better to give there than just saying AJ Green retired, but thanks for making the game great.
That dude made Andy Dalton so much money. Nobody should be saying thank you more than Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Andy Red to AJ Green. That was dumb. Cut that.
Cut that. No, leave that shit in, Andy.
Yeah,
leave it in.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I want Al to feel that shame when he listens.
Yeah.
So, Sonny, you got something?
So it's not confirmed, obviously, but Matt Ryan has said that he was planning on retiring this year, but Tom Brady beat him to it. So he either plays another year or he retires on March 28th and embraces all the memes. Which
328?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking great. That guy's a hero.
That would
He
make
is.
him the
That
coolest
guy is my
quarterback of
hero.
all time, right? To embrace your biggest upset, like the score, and retire on that, like he would have to be the coolest. I don't think of him as cool at all either, right? Like it would be a total like lockstep change from what I expect from him.
Yeah.
I don't know what I consider him. I know when he was in college, he was considered Matty Ice. I know that. I remember betting on his games when he was at Boston College and loving watching him just like score touchdowns at the end of the games.
He was good at that, but I never thought of him as cool, right? Like, and him leaning in that hard would make him fucking cool. So obviously, I was wrong. I apologize, Matt.
Is
Good
there
name.
any quarterback in the NFL who seems like less interesting as a human?
Joe
Matt
Flacco.
Ryan?
Russell Wilson.
No, Russell
Yeah.
Wilson is interesting in like a different way. Like how
Okay.
weird is this guy? But Matt
Yeah.
Ryan is just like it's like having
I
lunch.
think I
with a
have you on
bucket of paint.
with Joe Flacco, right? Joe Flacco.
Ryan Tannehill.
No,
Ryan Tannehill is more interesting than Matt Ryan, but not by much.
Ryan
Yeah,
Tannehill's wife once got pulled over with
Right.
a pink AK in the back of her blinged out SUV. So, yeah.
Is
And
Phillip
Lauren's
Rivers
also a
interesting?
smoke show. So at least
Phillip
his
Rivers
wife's
has 16 kids. That's at
yeah,
least mildly
but Philip
interesting.
Rivers
don't
is in that category too, though, for sure.
I don't think that makes him interesting at all. I think he just complains about his kids all the time. And you know
I
those people who just
I also
complain about-
think he just loves unprotected sex.
well,
People
like,
that have a lot of kids are weirdos, though, so there's a little bit of that going for him. Carson
like-
Wentz.
Like when you
Wentz.
start a new job and they make you go around and like share a fun fact about yourself, Philip Rivers can be like, I have 16 kids. Like Matt Ryan's got nothing. Like, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
he's got 28 to 3.
I was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. You know how that went.
Sunshine, as the quarterback of your team for a long time, do you have anything cool to say about Matt Ryan or no? We're just leaning on him being lame.
He's really quiet. So like I've heard him say things that were funny.
Okay.
He's a funny guy.
I'm sticking
You know.
with Philip Rivers then. Philip Rivers is the lamest. I
Joe
love
Flacco's
Philip Rivers.
Joe Flacco's definitely the lamest. So
Jared Goff.
no, Joe Flacco is definitely the
Jared
lamest.
Goff is pretty lame.
You guys can't do one thing about Joe Flacco. Not one person can tell me one
You guys
thing
are-
about Joe Flacco.
He's a Delaware Blue Hen.
He
Yeah.
did play Delaware.
I
He's
was gonna
renowned
say
for
that.
having great arm strength.
You guys
Tell
know
me
we're just
one
naming
non-
all the white quarterbacks, right?
Tell me one
We-
non-football thing about Joe Flacco.
He's got a perennial 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay.
He's
Do you
got-
think it grows
he's
back?
got-
It's like it comes back immediately after the shave, right? 5 minutes later.
No.
Danny, tell me one non-football
Santa
thing
Claus.
about Jared Goff.
Jared
Goff's
Goff.
funny as shit. He's a great interview.
Is
If
he?
you've ever listened to Pardon My Take, he's super funny. I like Jared Goff's not as lame as you think.
No, I don't know shit about Jared Goff either, so it's a bad example. But I know he's on Part of My Take. There you go, non-football thing. Jared Goff's on Part of My Take
Why is he on Pardon My Take?
because he's a funny interview.
He is a funny interview.
Has nothing to do with being an NFL quarterback.
Hey, there's one thing I
It
wanted
has
to
more to do with
mention
being a funny interview.
that is not really related to anything we're discussing, but I thought it's something we would all appreciate. So I don't know if you guys follow Celebrity Hot Tub on Twitter, Ryan Nanny, but he tweeted earlier that his favorite part about the Brian Ferentz amendment which I don't know what they're referring to there specifically, but he said if you give Iowa 25 points exactly in every game they played in 2022, their record would have been 11-2. And just to put that in context, 25 points per game would have been tied for 85th with Arkansas State.
Yeah, they were good defense.
Yeah,
That's good.
like just if they just had a bad offense, if it just wasn't awful, if it was just bad, they would have been 11-2. That's crazy.
You saw they're not making
That's
changes.
not an average, though. That's not an average. They would have had to score that every single game.
Yeah, that's fair.
You
I
saw
guess that also would have been their average if they scored it every game, and their median, and their mode.
They're not changing anything on their offensive squad either.
So
Like,
I don't want to go back to Matt Ryan before we finish this, but I would the AJ Green and Andy Dalton thing. So does Julio Jones have Matt Ryan to thank for his career? Because it seems like he didn't do much since he left. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, it kind of goes both ways.
That could go both ways.
It could go both ways.
Matt Ryan was terrible since he, because I feel like Matt Ryan had 1 year with Ridley after he left. That was pretty good.
Yeah, well, he did, but like
those were the ones where Calvin Ridley was betting on himself.
yeah.
Calvin Ridley doesn't know how to place a bet. Did you see what he got caught for? Calvin really got caught for placing bets like he was following me.
Was he doing the $10 to 10,000 to 10K challenge?
I got a Calvin Ridley Super Bowl parlay for you guys later today.
I can't wait.
So that one season, once you took Julio out of the equation, Calvin Ridley was no longer as effective. So what made him so effective in those years where he was great with Matt was that everybody was double covering Julio and Ridley would be wide open. So then that year, that's kind of why Ridley ended up being like shell shocked, in my opinion, is like all of a sudden his job got a lot harder. There weren't as many distractions.
I'd say more than Julio Jones, it was Kyle Shanahan that made Matt Ryan.
That is true.
Look what that man did with Brock Purdy.
Or even more than Kyle Shanahan, it was Mike McDaniel.
Everyone knows
this.
Everyone knows.
I mean, what quarterback has Kyle Shanahan made good since he was in San Francisco?
Yeah.
All of them?
Like 4 this year. 3, I guess.
Couldn't even make Garoppolo good. He only went to 1 Super Bowl.
What I would do for McDaniel to take us to a Super Bowl, we could lose, but the joy I would have just getting to the second round of the playoffs.
I had so much joy this season as a Dolphins fan. So much joy this season. It was awesome.
I got
this
a good
was
question
great
here.
Football season.
So we all, everyone knows what you do for the Super Bowl when your team's not in it, right? You either go to a party or you throw a party, eat a bunch of food, hang out with a bunch of people, get drunk, bet. If your
Matt and I get a stack of dollars and we bet on every fucking play.
If your team is in the Super Bowl, how are you watching the Super Bowl?
My dad
are you watching it the same way?
Go, but I don't really want to anymore.
Because I don't think I could be in a crowd of people that don't give a fuck about the game.
I would probably watch it the same way in the same environment, but I know I'd be with people that would also be watching it more intensely. So there would be Danny's house, for example, the living room would be for all the shenanigans. And then the outside area would be where
people are smoking heaters and shotgunning beers and screaming cuss words.
The kid tries to walk outside and like, get the fuck back in the house.
Yeah.
What did I fucking say? What did I fucking say?
I'm pretty passionate about the Falcons. But when the night they played the Super Bowl, I went to like level 15 and I literally had to watch in an entire different room separate from everybody because
is level 15 a club in Atlanta, or are you talking about like your personal?
On 1 to 10, I went to 15.
Okay, all right.
And I was serious about it.
I thought that might have been the club with the good chicken wings. That's
what I was thinking. I was like, wait.
Nah, that's Magic City.
Is that in Buckeye, level 15?
When you say level 15, was that your intensity for the game or the amount you had drank?
It was a solid both. Hey man, it was like all Guinness all night. Yeah, I could
actually level 15 is an Atlanta-based craft malt liquor
Yeah, Little Bean sounds like the nickname for Ice House Ice, like extra Ice
Yeah.
House.
Oh, because that's
We-
6%
we've-
alcohol, right?
Ice House Edge.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about its edge.
24
Edge extra.
ounce.
We freeze it twice to get out all of the water that's not
All the
booze.
water. It's all booze.
So you guys want to talk about Tom Brady? Like, do you actually think he's retired? Do you think he's retired? Do you think he
Don't care.
gave up his relationship with his wife to play one more season of football? Or do you think he wanted to end this relationship and now they're divorced? He's like, oh, great, now I'm out.
I
think
got
that's
kind
it.
About right.
I got kind of a hot take on this. I think Giselle was probably a lot to deal with. I mean, she's like a supermodel and shit with like a lot of businesses, and she probably thinks she's like better than him and he's the GOAT. So she's not.
I think she is the GOAT.
Yeah,
Really
she's a higher plane internationally.
Yeah, maybe, but she's not. And
So-
I just think she's probably a lot to deal with at home if I were Tom Brady. And he was probably looking for a way out of this relationship, but he didn't want to like leave her. So he was just like staying at work all the time.
Danny,
like,
quick question.
ahead.
Do you think she's a lot to deal with more than this thirst trap photo behind my shoulder? Like, that seems not like a lot to deal with. The moment he gets out, he's sending.
Dude, that's what she does for a living. You think that's a lot to deal with? That's what she does for a living.
Yeah, he doesn't do that for a living. He doesn't do that at all for a living. He throws a ball.
He did
What
that
if
for
she
free.
posts
she
a
has a
first
coffee-
trap of her throwing a 60-yard TD bomb?
The number one way she makes money is by putting that on people's coffee tables. She has a coffee table book of pictures of her doing that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. I have no problem with him doing that
or
or her doing that. It's great. It's great. Show your dick. No matter who you are, show me your dick.
Danny's
That's
like,
the
really,
first
really,
step.
please.
That's he
Look
can
at the
say it for
hand, dude.
promotion. That's a thirst trap right there, and
No.
he's trying to get attention.
So here's what Danny was saying, that he thought Tom Brady came back to cause rift at home and force Giselle to leave him. But here's my thought.
He was
How
going to play
often-
till she left.
how
He was gonna play
often-
till she left.
You know, like during the regular season, they see each other like zero, right? Like we
Yeah.
can all agree they don't see each other like at all during football season. Between
Yeah.
her traveling and his football schedule. In the off season, like legitimately, how many days do you think they spend in each other's company? Like 10?
I think it's 100% up to them, right? Like they have enough money, he could follow her around the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
If he
don't
wanted
think
to spend
they.
every day
I
with
bet
her.
you they are just like, I don't know who you are anymore. I literally have only seen
Mm.
you like we hang out like 3 times a year. You know, so like
I
you do
married
that for
you
20
away
years,
from
and you're like, I don't
Tom
know.
Brady basically looks at her and says, "I married you to get away from the last girl I got pregnant."
Oh,
Does he get alimony because she's richer than him?
Ooh.
Oh, he actually did this. He got the divorce before the $375 million broadcasting contract.
Well, I mean, before he started doing his own OnlyFans behind my shoulder too. So 2022 retired, 2023 OnlyFans, 2024 he's going to the broadcast booth.
Well, we don't have any lawyers here, but if the contract was agreed to and signed the previous year before the divorce came into the picture, does that either mean that's included or that it shows his earning capabilities and what his alimony would be based off of, regardless
Depends on
of
the
whether
number
he
of
takes
years
it?
alimony is very complicated the way they calculate it. Depends on the number of years. It depends on what state they're getting married, their marriage is in, and what state they're getting
Okay.
divorced.
The answer is yes. I'm right.
I don't know what the point was, but sure.
The point is that he didn't divorce her to get out of having to pay her a bunch of that.
He didn't divorce her; she left him.
Okay, whatever.
It's curious, man. It's curious. Like, if there's ever been a time where you're looking to like rekindle that fire, it would be post-retirement. But clearly that is not the case.
Well, I think
Wow.
in this instance, she had been like kind of like locked away for a lot of years. And like their deal was he was going to retire and she was going to get back out there while she still had, tread on the tires.
What tires are we talking about here?
Like
No, no, I
before she
think-
gets old,
Vaginal tires?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Okay.
No.
What tires are we talking here? Because
She had put her career on pause to raise the family, so she was
Yeah.
staying at
I
home.
also don't know. Is that even true?
Yes,
Yeah.
she put her career on pause to raise the family.
She was just straight up not working for like 10 years?
She was staying at their castle with the moat in Boston or wherever the fuck they live.
Yeah.
I just know it has a castle with a moat.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking a weird prince and princess
You know, here's
story.
I'll
not
say
regular people.
Giselle should have done this shit 10 years ago.
I agree.
Yeah,
like got
props
Tom Brady
to Giselle. Go
to retire.
live your life, girl.
I bet you
Yeah,
Tom
back
Brady
when
sucks.
Stella got her groove back, she should have seen that movie and taken it as a sign.
I bet you Tom Brady
All I
sucks
can say,
too. He's so boring. Like I can't
it's like-
imagine. Go ahead now.
Well, like 65-year-old divorcee Tom Brady is going to be great. Seeing him like patrolling sidelines of NFL games drunkenly, like Joe Namath, going up to whoever the next Susie Colbert is going to be like, I want to kiss you.
Dude, why do you think Tom Brady's going to get drunk now?
He's definitely
No, it's happening. He's going to pivot into like, I don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to let it go.
That's Tony Romo. You're describing Tony Romo.
No, Tony Romo is.
No, Tony Romo is doing that right now. Tom Brady is still going to be eating his.
Tony Romo is
still
Troy
be avocado
Aikman.
ice cream. No, Troy Aikman is fucking. He pivoted into like steroid guy. He gives.
That dude is so fit. Aikman is like terrifying with that.
Tom Brady should be ashamed of that photo with his shirt off compared to Aikman.
Aikman is way more ripped up than Tom Brady right now.
Who do you think's got the biggest
Also,
dick?
Aikman's like 50.
Are we talking coaches or quarterbacks?
Randall Cunningham.
Just retired quarterbacks.
Dante
Randall Cunningham. Warren Moon.
Michael Vick.
Doug Williams.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
What are we doing here?
So boring quarterbacks, white guys.
Jeff Jordan. Wait, did I play the game wrong?
And surprisingly, Johnny Manziel.
That hammer. Before we get into college players that we forgot about or that didn't get drafted, I do want to talk about one thing. Did you guys see what Jim Boeheim said the other day? So there's some teams in the ACC playing really good basketball this year. University of Miami is being one of them. If we want to celebrate them for a second, we can.
Undefeated at home, beat the shit out of Duke today.
Sure did. Jim Boeheim said that the NIL era sucks and that people are just buying teams now, like Miami, Wake Forest, and Pitt. They go out there and buy teams. Mm-hmm. My question for Jim Boeheim is this: you didn't buy a team?
No, Carmelo was free. So was Hakeem Warwick. So was what was that white dude that made all the threes? McNamara. Totally free. That guy was free.
You know who I bet is actually free? Are his fucking sons that play for their team, and one is good and one is shit. Buddy Boeheim and I don't know, Bingo Boeheim. Spot Boeheim. Rover.
Buddy Bingo and Spot.
I just think the hypocrisy is delicious there. Like
Jim Boeheim's a fucking tool.
Oh come on!
They're all fucking tools, man.
Not all.
Jim Larranaga is the only cool college basketball coach.
Larranaga.
If I had to put a top 5 list of uncool basketball coaches, Jim Boeheim has to lead the list, right? I think Bill Self is also incredibly uncool. Like
Roy was retired, but he would have been at the top for me, I think. Or
right behind Coach K. Coach K was the least cool.
Way worse. Way less cool.
Coach K had that Bible salesman coming over that just like.
No, he looks like a rat in the cast of. He played like when they do the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He plays one of the rats. That's what Coach K looks like. His face.
Bob Knight.
Bob Knight's interesting, at least.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But I feel like Bob Knight's the kind of asshole that knows he's an asshole, and Jim Boeheim's the kind of asshole that doesn't know he's an asshole, though.
Yeah, self-righteous asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring up Jim Boeheim. What the fuck are you thinking, man? You really want to play this game? Like
we had this discussion months ago on the podcast when Nick Saban was over here saying, like, I hate it when all these NIL guys are being able to buy their teams. What's going on here? I've never done this. You've been dropping bags forever in Alabama. What the fuck?
No,
It's
this
the same
is
shit now happening in college basketball.
Me? I would never deign to do such a thing. Such despicable, deplorable behavior. Yeah, fuck those guys. They can all eat a bag of dicks.
They're
The
just
same bag that they filled with cash and had their fucking assistant coach drop off.
They need to fill it with a bunch of old dead dicks and make them eat it.
Yes.
All right. We can move on from the old dead dicks. if you guys
No,
want.
would you like to
Thank
talk
you.
more Jim Boeheim? I got more
No,
dead dick
no.
talk if you do. I don't know if you know how I feel about Syracuse, New York, but
Well,
Speaking
go
of
ahead,
bag of
tell
old dead
us.
dicks, you guys hear about this hot dog prop? Pivot. No, are we ready to talk about Super Bowl yet, or we got more shit to go
dude,
over?
let's start with that one. It's the best prop.
Wait. Sorry, no. Matt had a good topic we wanted to hit up, so
Oh,
we will
yeah,
be getting the Super Bowl props shortly. But
So today
Matt,
what
did you want to go over?
we were thinking about, remember, when you're watching college football and you're like, that person is dead set to be a great pro. And when they get to the pros, they suck. And you're always like confused because like they were so great for so long. I just wanted to have like a guys being bros moment. Let's just talk about some guys to remember. I'm going to start off with this one. This one's close to my heart. Remember Peter Warwick? That guy
God, he should have been so
was
good.
That was a
terrifying.
good one.
Do you remember the catches, the punt returns, man? He was just so quick. There was this one he made. You guys were playing, I want to say Virginia Tech. Was that a championship game?
Yeah, it was the game, the pass interference play.
Oh, the pass
99
interference play. Yeah. That was awesome. But it was a punt return in that game where there were two guys right in front of him, and he juked both of them out of their fucking shoes, and then returned it, I don't know, like 80 yards or something. But
He was amazing. I can't believe he wasn't a good pro. Does anyone else have any names they want to drop here? Remember that?
Vince Young.
Vince
Young was a good pro.
I mean, he wasn't he was an average pro.
He does not fit this because he was a good enough
sport
pro.
redefining quarterback like he was in college, and you were like, oh fuck, this guy is gonna change the game. And then he was like, I go 12 of 23 passing and rush for 60 yards.
Concussions got to him, man. It was pretty obvious that his head was out of whack. I mean, yeah, he like ran around places with a gun and shit. It wasn't cool. Anyway, to change that conversation back to something lighter, Justin Blackman. Nothing bad ever happened with him.
Speaking of destroying your brain,
I still expect Justin Blackman to be like great in the NFL next year. I'm like holding out for hope. He was so good at Oklahoma State. If he didn't have the same flaws I did in my personal life of just wanting to get drunk how many DUIs did he have in college? I think he had like 3 or 4. Or like his underage drinking arrest count was like off the charts. Let me see if I can pull some stats. But
I think he got like 3 DUIs from in 3 consecutive years between college and pro, like that transition.
Good
Pretty
Lord,
outrageous.
That dude was terrifying. He was terrifying on the field.
The best.
Then you
probably
also
the best ever watched playing
college.
college. Best ever watched.
You also don't
college.
think like Reggie Bush would be a good option here either.
No, he was way too good in the pros for this to fit. You got to be.
I think he was better in the pros than Vince Young was.
Same.
Positionally adjusted.
They were the same pro career, if you ask me. Reggie Bush. Actually, you're right. Reggie Bush had a better pro career than Vince Young, but it's pretty close.
Sonny,
Reggie Bush. Chris.
Oh, I said Brady Quinn. Whatever happened to that fucking guy?
Brady Quinn.
Yeah, I'm with you. He was
the same amount of handsome.
Yeah, he stayed handsome. He's still handsome on TV. But yeah, he was way too good in college to be that bad in the pros. I think what happened to him was Cleveland, right? That's where he went.
Yeah. I think he definitely stayed up north.
Yeah, it's just too.
Good one.
Yeah,
remember when everybody in Miami was so upset that we didn't draft Brady Quinn and we got Ted Ginn instead, and that actually looked like it was a smart move.
He got Tim Couched. That's another one. Tim Couch.
Tim Couch. Wow, that is a good one. Remember that
Or
guy?
Charlie Ward, if we're talking about
Charlie
offensive
Ward
guys.
had a 10-year NBA career.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's-
good.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm shocked
But
he
not-
wasn't good in the. I'm
not-
shocked he
not-
wasn't good in the NFL. He was just too busy making $10 million a year in the NBA.
He was really good in the NBA. Even as like a sixth man, that's good enough.
Yeah.
No, he had a couple years in Houston where he was I don't know if he made an All-Star team, but he was definitely a guy on my fantasy team contributing.
I just remember being conflicted because he played for the Knicks at the time where the Heat hated the Knicks and they were choking each other every game. And he was like one of those guys not choking people. But I was like, oh, John Starks, I hate you. And Allen Houston, I hate you. And yeah, I hate you too, Charlie Ward. I'm like, oh, I can't hate you, Charlie.
Yeah. Latrell Sprewell, though, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Coaches are getting choked. Man, the NBA was great.
You could probably name like every single Nebraska quarterback of all time, right? Like all
Eric
those
Crouch, I
guys.
never thought was going to be good, though. He was really
No.
good, and I never thought he
He
was
was
going to make it. But
awesome.
what was the one from further back that was such a good runner? I thought he'd be able to play at some position. Tommy.
Tommy Frazier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he'd
I
be able
never-
to play somewhere in
yeah.
the NFL, and never really figured it out. What about Matt Jones?
Matt Jones.
Yeah, from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole was Darren McFadden considered good? That whole Arkansas.
Darren McFadden had some big. Darren McFadden had some big. years
Yeah.
for Dallas.
Darren McFadden's in the same like Reggie Bush and Vince Young type tier.
Okay.
What
I
about
think. So
good
I count
old
it.
Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinert's a good one. That guy was not good.
Ooh. He
Yes,
never.
he
He
was
never.
not.
He was announcing while he should still be playing. He was like younger than quarterbacks. I mean, here. What's the guy that the Dolphins just tried to fucking in Arizona?
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen. He was so
Oh.
fucking good. In is it Cal State?
UCLA.
UCLA,
but
whatever.
Yeah,
What
he
a
wasn't
fucking-
that good. I didn't think he was going to be good.
No.
But if you thought he was going to be good, then yeah, he definitely wasn't good in the NFL.
No, he was terrible in the pros. Derek Carr's brother.
David.
Gar.
David.
Yeah.
Carr.
It's a
He
good
should
one.
have been awesome. He should have been awesome.
That
he
is
just
a good one.
He got Texans.
They didn't have any offensive line. They drafted a quarterback with their first pick and literally
So-
just sent him out there to die.
They got Tony Baselli need. They took Baselli from the Jaguars with their first expansion pick and his knee just was degenerated and he never really played to protect him. They were like, oh, we got Baselli, we got Carr, this should work. And then Baselli never played, so they had no left tackle, and that was like their main pick that they took. So
Andy, we haven't heard from you on this topic. You have anyone? You're like, this guy.
I mean, Jeff George, right?
Jeff George was not very good. No,
No.
he was not. I'm glad Big Dick we talked about earlier, but
Yeah.
not very good. Ron
no.
Dane? Anyone think Ron Dane was going to be good? Because that guy seemed like a fucking horse with hands.
I think
was-
Ron Dane fits in the Reggie Bush category because he had a 1,000-yard season in New York.
Okay. If Ron Dane.
Yeah, I
was-
also think he wasn't as good in college, even though he was like a Heisman either
He won
winner or
the Heisman.
finalist.
He won the
Yeah.
Heisman, yeah.
Yeah.
What about all those other Wisconsin
I feel
running
like
backs that came after Ron?
I
Oh,
feel like
sorry.
Archie Griffin is probably worthy of a mention, even though we were all too young for that. But
Yeah, I
you
know.
win,
he
you
was-
win 2 Heismans, you probably have expectations to perform in
Well,
the
Tim
NFL.
Tebow?
I think we mentioned Johnny Manziel earlier, right? Like he's kind of in that same.
Ooh, Manziel,
Yeah.
I still kind of want him to be good.
I want him to be good. I never thought he would be good. I was one of those people like you could see the train wreck coming a little bit. There was more information than the Justin Blackman situation, where like if you would have known how disastrous Justin Blackman's life was, like you're like, yeah, maybe he's not going to make it. But
Yeah.
What's the dude from Oklahoma that failed in Cleveland that just played for 2 teams?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. I thought he was going to be awesome too.
I don't think he counts.
No.
I guess he's not very good. But he had a year.
He did lead the Browns to a playoff. I mean,
He had one really, really good season, and then he's been trash other than that season. Injuries.
Yeah.
He's bad, but he was. I didn't expect him to be good or not
But-
great.
I think
Somebody
he's-
did because he was the #1 overall pick, and everybody agreed.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the only person who thought he would be good.
No, you're not alone. You're just alone here tonight.
Well,
That's we can talk about.
you're an
everyone's-
excellent talent evaluator. The NFL
Thank
should
you.
hire you.
But I
We can talk-
agree.
about everyone from West Virginia. Matt White, Steve Slayton, Noel Devine. I don't know if you guys have ever read the story about Noel Devine. He was a phenomenal talent. And I know he wasn't talked about as much, but like everyone in Fort Myers was like, this is the guy. Like they had CJ Spiller, like this guy's a lot better than CJ Spiller.
Yeah, and did he bench like 500 in high school too? Like,
yeah, crazy fast.
And he's like 5'6". Yeah.
And I think he had a really tough upbringing. Like I think there's a lot to his life. Where it may not have worked out, but that dude was terrifying, fucking terrifying in college. But West Virginia had a proclivity of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the hype wasn't there in college. I don't think.
No,
like the hype for him to perform in college, but he didn't perform well enough in college to warrant like NFL expectations to where
Slayton and Pat White did. Neither of them did anything in the pros.
This is a great game. I could play this game forever, but we can move on to the Super.
How about some Canes running backs? We could just go through that didn't perform in the pros.
Tyrone Moss.
Yeah. Oh God. If you're gonna go guys that didn't perform in college, Tyrone Moss was the biggest recruit that we had at running back. He broke every Broward County and Dade County rushing record. It was like he had 10,000 rushing yards by the time he got to Miami. He was already broken down by the time we got him.
Simpler
times. I thought Travis Homer would be better in the pros.
I mean, I think
he's on roster.
Exactly what I expected. Yeah,
he's on rosters.
He's like still floating around.
He's in Seattle. I've seen him play a bunch.
DJ Dallas is like the opposite here.
Yeah, DJ Dallas. Yeah,
like
I thought Duke Johnson would be better.
Yeah,
he had incredible speed. I thought Devin Hester would be better at returning kicks.
Oh, you could probably name like half of the Florida Gators wide receivers.
Oh man, dude, just like the late '90s, early 2000s Florida Gators receivers, like Jarvis, Javaris. I can't remember any of their fucking names. They were all Javarises to me.
How about Aaron Hernandez?
I actually watched a special on him today. 6 episodes. It's like 6 hours. I just got sucked in.
Oh my God, that's a
Jabari.
lot.
Is it Jabari?
Jabari?
God. What the hell are those Gators receivers' names?
Jabroni?
Jabar Gaffney.
Yeah. Jabar Gaffney. That's fun. Rashay Caldwell, was he good in the NFL?
Not good enough that he justifies how good he was in Florida.
Yeah. Danny Warfel.
That dude should have been a baller. He's not a bad take giver.
I don't know if I've heard him give any takes.
He's out there.
All right. We're about an hour in here, gentlemen. Should we get to the fucking crudité? No, coup de grace.
Right. Tell us about them hot dogs. Or is that our closing?
That's a good one. We should start there.
Open with the hot dogs. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah. So here's the deep dive on the prop bet you want to place for the Super Bowl. Whatever you got in the bankroll. I mean, I guess we're going to give you a ton of picks here, so save a little bit for those. But really, you're wasting your money if you're not betting every cent you have on under 17,000 hot dogs eaten at the Super Bowl. Let me break it down for you, okay? The what was it, last year's Super Bowl, Andy, in Atlanta?
No, it was 2019.
2019 Super Bowl in Atlanta.
We dug into all the research on the internet you could find.
In the
2019 Super Bowl, we know the exact number of hot dogs. Al, give it to him.
Thank you, Bing.
They ate 16,300 hot dogs at Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which seats 93,000 people. The number here of 17,000 hot dogs is about on par for that stadium, but Safeway Stadium or whatever they're playing in Phoenix, State Farm Stadium in Phoenix, where they're hosting the Super Bowl this year, seats only 63,000, can expand up to 72,000. So we're talking 20,000 less people eating 700 more hot dogs. It ain't happening. It's minus 190, but that's still great value.
We also have a piece of inside information. Season ticket holder 2 events at that arena. Sunshine, please tell us how much those hot dogs cost at certain parts of the arena.
They currently cost $2. At the time of the Super Bowl, those hot dogs cost $1.50.
We don't know exactly how much those hot dogs cost at other stadiums, but I'm assuming it's more than $1.50.
Yeah.
When the hot dog, so Atlanta, when they built that stadium, Chris, you could tell a story if you like. I'll defer to you here.
Yeah, so when they built the stadium and like the fans kind of have some ownership to it, where they're like they buy the seat, they hold the seat, and the license to it and stuff, they had to make certain items affordable. One was a food item. Atlanta chose to go with the hot dog, and it was $1.50. Some of the other items they had to make like an affordable beer option. So like in certain places you can buy a smaller pour of a beer, so it'd be like 12 ounces for $5. There's just different items in these stadiums that are lower for that reason,
which is pretty awesome. Which is one of the reasons Atlanta is one of the best stadiums you can go to in the world.
Thanks.
But they also have these $2 hot dogs, which are inflating this number, which are also inflating the number for the line, which is why Al is finding that this is the lock of the century, and we are all placing. I'm putting half my bankroll on it, but I don't know what you guys are all doing.
I put 100 on it because I didn't want to bet $3,000 on it after having beers. So I'm gonna I might sit on it for a minute.
Yeah, I didn't wait.
So obviously you can bet on just about anything at the Super Bowl, and another big one that people will be betting on is the national anthem. Chris Stapleton will be singing it this year. It's a little bit of a unique situation because most people that sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl have sung it before and have videos out there on YouTube, and you can watch them and time them. To the best of my knowledge and my Bing searches, there is not a video of Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem out there to try and get a time. So kind of just freestyling this one. I think Al's got to play anyway, but what do you think about that one, Al?
Yeah, so I think generally the line is usually set at 2 minutes and 3 seconds for the Super Bowl national anthem. Oftentimes artists average going over by a few seconds, but I'm going with under. Bovada had it at 2 minutes and 5 seconds, which already is the high end for most people doing the national anthem. And I think country music stars tend to cut a lot of the flair out of the song where they really stretch it out. They like to just kind of keep it a little bit tighter. Chris Stapleton is a bit of a wild card on that front because he could take his time with it, but
because he's a little bit more flary as far as country music stars go.
No,
he's incredibly skilled. He gets
he's a little more slow paced than a lot of the country superstars tend to
If
be.
you ever listen to the Traveler album, the dude has pipes. He can do the flair parts of the national anthem.
Danny, why are you talking to me like I've never listened to Chris Stapleton before?
Yeah, that's me. That's this guy. I've never listened to
Chris and I have gone to see him together. Chris and I have gone to see him together.
Sure did.
How big is his dick?
Pretty big.
Yeah.
On a scale of Matt Ryan to Jeff George.
A little bigger than Matt. Certainly smaller than Jeff.
Oh,
there's 2 bets I always place on the Super Bowl. It's coin toss and the over/under on the national anthem. So I'm on the under on the national anthem.
I got hooked on betting the national anthem every year when it was down here one year, and our buddy George had an insight because he was like in the halftime, or he was like knew somebody in that, like while they were down there, he got to see them rehearse the halftime show for some reason.
He was touring the stadium Super Bowl week, and they just happened to be practicing, and so he timed it and sent it to us, and it's my favorite bet that I've ever made because like it was such a lock.
We had the inside information and it hit.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
I thought that was the year that they canceled the bet because info got out about it.
No. We hit that bet. The year that I wish they canceled the bet was the year that I forget who was singing it, but she stopped her note in the middle of it, and she went, and then she kept her note going on the land of the free at the end, and she goes free, and because she stopped in the middle of it, They said that that's when the song ended, and they cashed the under instead of the over, even though she went free for way longer, for like another 30 seconds, and the over clearly hit, and the song went on forever. But they cashed the under instead of the over, and I was pretty fucking pissed in my book for that.
Is there a more controversial bet than the national anthem? Everyone has their stopwatches out, like we're Inspector Gadget, just sitting here pushing buttons. No one has ever married up, and then we rely on the house to tell us exactly what happened. I don't like this bet.
Bro, we rely on the house for all our fucking bets.
Well, that's true, but usually there's more of a quantifiable metric. Now I'm going to YouTube sleuths who are measuring things out by the millisecond. It always ends up in a weird spot, but I'll follow you guys. Whatever you think is best, let's go.
I mean, I'm gonna basically tail Al on the bet this time because Stapleton doesn't have the thing. I'll probably lean it over because I think Stapleton drags out his notes sometimes, and I think that the dude's got pipes and he's gonna wail during it. So
the other bet that Danny mentioned is the coin toss, and I saw a TikTok video this week, and it was a big betting account, like BR Betting or one of those. I don't remember exactly which one, but this lady did a deep dive statistical analysis into the coin toss, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Right?
I love it.
If you are following a betting account that does that, please stop putting your money behind these people's ideas. It's idiotic. If you want to bet the coin toss, by all means, but don't think that because tails is hit 48% of the time, it's due. It's ridiculous. Find a book that offers you even money odds, or just bet it with a friend. There's no reason to be laying minus 110 because the BR betting lady says that tails is due. It's ridiculous. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
That's fine. That's dumb. I will be betting on whether it's heads or tails, but it should be with a stack of dollars next to Matt as one of the first bets that we're doing of the game.
It's also tails never fails. So
I always bet heads. I don't like tails never fails because it fails all the time. It's a dumb statement.
I bet you it fails about half the time.
I'm not saying all the time, but I'm saying everyone's tails never fails. It's like following the BR betting thing. Be well, this is why tails is gonna win. It's no, fuck that. And everyone tries to tell me tails never fails. And that's why I always lean heads.
Andy, did the video go into the fact that they make a custom minted coin for the occasion and maybe the
No, I actually would have been more okay with that. If she's I've got the coin, I'm gonna weigh it on both sides. I'm okay with that. But this was no.
I'm gonna flip this coin 1,000 times with and see if it comes up more on one side.
We hired a guy to go undercover at the plant that makes the Super Bowl halftime coin flip coin.
Yeah.
And
no, I would do that. That I love.
That's a good bet.
Yeah.
That way we have a 0.000001% edge. Andy likes an edge.
I love an edge.
Do you guys want to go over all the fun, stupid props first, and then get into game and player props, or do you want to go the other way around?
Since we're at the beginning of the game, I got one more beginning prop before we do the fun, stupid props. Opening kickoff. This was a big thing last year. The TikTok video came out. I forget which side it was, whether it was touchback or not touchback. Do you guys remember? Because McAfee did some shit about they do something with the balls. Anybody recall this, or am I just bringing this up?
I know they've said that they use a special ball so kickers don't have a chance to break it in. McAfee said there's lights flashing as you're kicking, so I think the conclusion was that it's not a touchback, likely
right?
to get a touchback on the opening.
Even though it's almost always a touchback in regular season, but Super Bowl is less likely to be a touchback. Last year it didn't hit. Everybody bet on him and it didn't hit, right? So I'm following Andy on this one this year.
Yeah, I also read some stuff that said that the kick returner is more likely to take it out, right? Obviously if the kick goes over the end zone, he doesn't have a chance. But if the kick's into the end zone, they're more likely to take it out because they're hyped. Right, there's the biggest crowd they've ever seen in their lives, the most exciting night of their life. They're gonna run it back if they can. So yeah, I'm betting on opening kickoff touchback. No, you can actually get that at plus money. So
yeah, plus 120 I see. So that's I'm taking that too. Why not?
Yeah, I gotta find.
Let's talk real quick about the halftime show before we get into the game. It's gonna be Rihanna. I saw some interesting bets about will she show a butt cheek. Will she show some cleavage? Will she slip a nip?
I fucking hope so.
God, I hope so too.
I don't have anything on any of those, but I know, Matt, you had some on maybe which song she'd sing.
Yeah, so look, Rihanna's got an unbelievable catalog. She's a pop superstar. She has
catalog. Oh, her music is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did an
She
incredible
got a
catalog.
big, fat, juicy catalog.
So I was looking through the props.
She's got a
here
great set of catalogs.
on her halftime show first song, right? The favorite is "Don't Stop the Music" at plus 110. I don't feel like that's a great song to necessarily start off with. The second favorite is "Stay." Stay's a slow song. No way she's coming out with "Stay."
Correct.
The third one,
unless she's only
Diamond.
playing a very little bit of it, which I think she's going to play more of. So go on.
Yeah. The third one is Diamond. So it's like "Shine Bright Like a Diamond." I could see that being a great song to start off with, or "This Is What You Came For," which is her most popular hit on Spotify for as far as listens, like "Baby, This Is What You Came For," which makes perfect sense.
It's a good
For
opener.
starting off the Super Bowl, right? Like as far as the flow of the entertainment, I would bet on "This Is What You Came For" at plus 500 or Diamonds at plus 450. I think they're better plays. Also, I would see this as an opportunity. There's a bunch of props as far as who will come out. Jay-Z, Drake, they're both minus money. I'm assuming one or both of them will be there. They're a very close collective. But A$AP Rocky at plus 140. Why A$AP Rocky? A$AP Rocky is the father of Rihanna's daughter. They are a couple. They have recently just had a child together, and they seem to be very close. A$AP Rocky is also a very famous rapper. Well, famous rapper, not very famous, and he kicks ass. I could see this being a great opportunity to bring A$AP Rocky out there. He has songs talking about Rihanna. They are definitely not appropriate to play at the halftime show, but it seems like a good opportunity at plus 140. I like the plus money juice.
Matt, are you taking Rihanna to propose marriage to A$AP Rocky at plus 2,500?
I'm curious about it. It would be a hell of a halftime show, but it just doesn't seem like Rihanna's style.
So for some inside information, if you go to Setlist FM, Rihanna opens most of her festival type shows with "Stay." The MTV Video Music Awards that she played a while back, she opened with "Don't Stop the Music." That's it. That's all I got. Nothing that interesting.
"Don't Stop the Music's a good one.
Don't Stop the Music, not "Don't Stop Believing." That's Journey.
"Don't Stop the Music" is interesting. "Stay" doesn't seem like the right way to start off a Super Bowl show.
No.
It doesn't feel good, but like "This Is What You Came For" makes perfect sense.
Honestly, I'm not even sure she would play "Stay" in the set at all.
It's the second favorite. Like, "Bitch Better Have My Money," super fun song. She's gonna play it. It's gonna just be "Better Have My Money." We found "This Place" is a great song also. There's a lot of good options here, but I just love the idea of starting a show with "This Is What You Came For," right? Because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So they don't have Setlist doesn't have information past 2016 either, so that's probably just also it's not gonna have her newer stuff. Her most played song is "Umbrella."
Ella. Oh,
she's gonna play "Umbrella."
She's gonna play "Umbrella."
Umbrella's plus 1,600. She has a gang of songs. You could look through this whole like that song "Work" to me.
Work. She's
gonna play them all, right? It's gonna be
a great halftime show, actually.
It is. She kicks ass.
She's gonna be good. Yeah. I'm just saying that she hasn't been on tour recently.
Nope.
Do any of you guys have the same problem that I have with the Super Bowl, which is that I know we all like to have a few beverages, and then you've got the football's good, you've got the commercials are good, you've got the halftime show is good. When you pee, yeah, it's a nightmare.
Diapers.
4 hours.
Diapers. Why don't they advertise adult diapers during the halftime?
I've been trying to convince everybody to watch the game from my pool for this reason for a long time.
Gross.
Excellent. All right.
That's why you got to watch it on an outside TV, so you can pee in the yard while TV's still in view.
Dude, we're already in my backyard for most of the game.
No.
We just need to get in the pool. It's that easy. Just get in the pool.
I'll go in the pool with you, Danny.
I'll pee on you guys while you're in the pool.
That's the classiest move, by the way. You can do that, actually, because you can watch the game from Danny's backyard, staring at the TV while peeing into the pool. It's a gentleman's move, for sure.
Yeah, you can pee in the pool, but you just whip your dick out and while standing outside of the pool, peeing into the pool.
The blue dye lights up. The fake blue dye that happens is lighting up while you're peeing into the pool from the outside.
Oh.
Was anybody want to talk about football?
Yeah.
So do you think either team's going to win by 6 or more, Andy?
I mean, is that what we want to do and get into the props?
What's next? I mean, we're going to give our picks for the game, I guess, last, right? So.
Okay.
I don't really. I don't have a play for the game, so let me hit you guys with a couple props I like.
Al, are you
Unless
excited
anyone
about this
else wants to go
podcast, or
first.
are you tired?
Yes.
You act like it's midnight or something.
All right.
Oh, you guys have jobs. I'll do this all night.
So here's one prop I saw that's basically a teaser. Actually, I think it is a teaser. Wait, no, this is worse than a teaser, but it's plus 105. KC plus 7.5 and under 55.5. Plus 105.
I like that.
Right?
I hate it actually, but I also like it.
Yeah.
Because I like the over and the Philly, but I like them at lower numbers than that, so it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, if you like there's a bunch of different props like that where it's each side, and then the total over or under with different odds. So you can find one you liked if you don't like that one. One of my favorite bets here is whichever team you think is going to win the Super Bowl, just bet on that quarterback to win the MVP.
Yeah,
Because
don't take
quarterback.
Matt, or you were telling me before the positional prop. Go through that.
Yeah, so I mean, Bovada also offers the MVP as a prop based on position. So like a receiver wins the MVP is plus 650. Running back is plus 800, and a defensive player is plus 10,000 or whatever it is. But the quarterback position is minus 650. It's the only minus odds position, and it's far and away the most likely position to win the award. So rather than betting either team on the money line, just bet the team that you think is going to win at better odds. Bet that team's quarterback to win the MVP.
Because they're both at plus 125.
Yeah, plus 125 for Hurts and plus 135 for Mahomes. Whereas if you're taking money line on the game, you're getting what, like plus 105 and minus 115 or something.
Yeah.
So that's my little advice.
Yeah, I like that.
It's not bad. It's not bad. So if your team wins the game, better than taking the money line for the game or whatever, you're
you're basically
you're gonna get the
having
MVP.
a coin flip pick. That's going to.
And then unless somebody like Ray Lewis is and gets like 3 interceptions. What was that one guy who got there's one guy got the MVP randomly a couple of games back. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The only way I really see a non-quarterback winning it is if like one running back runs like all the Eagles touchdowns in and gets like 4 touchdowns.
No, Westbrook's not doing that shit.
Yeah. I got some more.
You might get a triple-double, but
I saw Eagles by 1 to 10 points is paying plus 185. So if you like the Eagles, you can take them by 1 to 10. I doubt they're going to win by double digits. So that seems like good value to me. And then another bet I always
love that bet
is first play of the game as a run. That one's minus 135. But these coaches always go out there. It's a big moment. A lot of these guys have not been in this position before. Go out there, get an easy play in, run the ball, pick up a few yards, get the jitters out a little bit before you go and start throwing the ball. So I really like first play run. But I think Andy, you're on the other side of that.
Yeah, I took I did 2, one for each team. First offensive play for Kansas City, pass at plus 130, and first offensive play for Philly, pass at plus 105. I'm just I'm a sucker for plus money. So
I do like the run a lot more with the Eagles versus the Chiefs. If the Chiefs get the ball first, it's a little more of a toss up, but
yeah. Al, do you have any more years that you want to run through?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've got a couple more that I like, so I'll just mention those as well. One is that the announcers they mention the Kelce brothers playing each other. Over 1.5 is minus 320. Obviously, it's a juiced line, but it seems like a lock to me that they'll mention it more than once. So that they mentioned that they're playing against each other seems pretty obvious. And then the only other bet I have on here is a Kenneth Gainwell anytime touchdown for the Eagles, plus 360. He seems to be the guy that always ends up getting the goal line carries, or as they're approaching the goal line. Not goal line carries, but like 10 yards out. And I think he's scored a lot of touchdowns for them this year, so it seems like good value that he gets in at plus 360.
Nice. I like it. I've got a whole bunch, and I don't want to go through all of them here, so I'll put out on TikTok and Twitter all of mine, but just a couple of the ones that we haven't mentioned so far that I like are either team to attempt a 2-point conversion. You get yes at plus 120. And then will there be a successful 2-point conversion? You get yes at plus 260. Again, I just love plus money, and the Eagles love to go for 2. They love to be really aggressive, and Andy Reid can be known to do some of that stuff too. So I like both of those. And then
Version's
total
hit at 50%. It seems like the plus 260 is the better bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna, rather than betting both of those, it makes more sense just to take the plus 260 that it's successful. But then it would suck if they went for 2 and didn't get it, and you're like,
if they do it only once, that would suck. Yeah.
And the other one I like is total times the chains are brought out over 1.5 plus 300. I only need 2 measurements for the whole game, and I'm getting plus 300 on it. Like, absolutely. I'm not gonna say it's a lock, but it's definitely value.
So on the 2-point conversion bet, one of the things I like to do on silly bets like that is, like, say I'll put 1 unit on the 2-point conversion attempt, or not 1 unit, but like enough that would count that to win. I would win 1 unit, and then I would put whatever that 1 unit is on the 2-point conversion success. So then if I get the 2-point conversion success,
you're breaking even.
No, I win, right? I win a lot. But then if they 2-point conversion
they go
fails,
for it and fail.
You break even. Yeah.
So, I guess that's
Andy,
another thing I should mention here is I'm not betting a full unit on any of these. The most I'm betting on any of these is like a half unit of what like my regular season plays are, and some of them are even less than that. So
Andy's a responsible better. I can tell you I'm betting like 10 times my regular unit on all of my props.
the hot dog one for sure. The hot dog one we're betting like 10,000 times our normal unit. Yeah. Andy, did you look into how often the chain gang comes out to measure at all?
I didn't. I thought about it, and I didn't have time to. I'm not even sure how you'd go about looking that up. I don't know if that's like a stat that they keep. It just seems like in the Super Bowl they're gonna want to get things right. Like, it's a big game, a lot of big moments. Like, it doesn't seem unreasonable that they would measure twice.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like once you're pretty likely to get 1, or you're as likely as you aren't to get 1, but like more than once is you're kind of pressing your luck.
Yeah, but it's plus 300, right? Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't bet this at
I'm with you on the
over 1.5 is plus 300.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like a pretty good bet.
I thought so, but like Al said, I didn't have time to actually go look. And again, I'm not even sure how you would go look without like watching past Super Bowls.
Forget about getting things right. You just have I feel like you just have 2 quarterbacks that are gonna like try and get it on a sneak at some point, or be in 3rd and short at some point, and they'll want to measure because they're gonna want to try and go for it. The coaches will, rather than just be like, we're gonna go punt.
Yeah.
Or you also have 2 coaches that'll try and measure just so they can get a fake free timeout.
Yep.
They'll you can ask the refs to measure to basically get a free timeout. And sometimes coaches use that to just get rules in their favor. So I'll go through some of my props now. I don't know if you guys want to do that. So I'm sure these guys have all given you props to try and make money. I'm going to give you props on how to bet to enjoy watching the Super Bowl. Because if you start betting every little fucking thing, you're just going to have like 20 things going on in the Super Bowl, and you're not going to know what to root for. So the way I like to do it is I just like pick a couple of things that I want to root for, or what I think will happen, or just general guys that I know, and then
I
will
bets to support that.
I will pick bets that support that. So the number one thing, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I think Jalen Hurts is the fucking bee's knees. So he's in the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna bet basically all of his overs because I want to keep rooting for Jalen Hurts to keep doing good. And his passing yards are super fucking low. It's only like 238. So I got him 239.5 right now. So I'm taking the over there. His rushing yards were less than 50, so I'm taking the over there. His scoring a touchdown running, I mean, he does that a lot. So especially in big games, quarterbacks will score touchdown running on the goal line. I mean, we saw that with Maximum Dugan. That was a good bet for all of us a couple weeks ago. And it's greater than 1.5 passing touchdowns. So I mean, he could throw 2, no problem. And I feel like one of those 2 that he throws, AJ Brown's a fucking beast. All right, he's gonna get one of them.
What did you say the over was on 1.5 passing touchdowns?
It's minus 120. He'll probably throw the other one to Goddard, I think, because he's been hitting the tight end, or he hit him once in the playoffs. But he seems like a good play here, but I'm not going to actually take that one. The other one is Mahomes is I was looking at the lines here, and Mahomes going from 300, which was his like even money passing yards, to 325 was plus 170. And I felt like that 25 yards was worth the extra plus 70 points. So I felt like that was value, because if he's going to be throwing for that many yards, he might get an extra 20. So yeah, I'm taking that one, and then Mahomes plus 2.5 passing touchdowns, because I just don't feel like anybody's going to be running the ball much in this game. So the Eagles have a killer rush defense. So I just feel like Mahomes is going to have to be passing the ball all game. So over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Over 325 passing yards. So I'm rooting for the quarterbacks to have big games. That's pretty easy. And then Travis Kelce to score a touchdown. He's a bro. He's going to score. Also, the two bets I like the most, actually, of all of these were in the quarterback's long rushes. Mahomes' longest rush was at 11.5 yards. The Hurts' longest rush was at 13.5 yards. You hit one of those, you're winning money. So one of them is going to have a rush longer than 12 yards. So, or it's 13.5 for Hurts, but one of them is going to have a long run. So those were my bets. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like the rushing yards a lot. I'm intrigued by both of those, especially the Hurts one. 13.5 yards on their porous defense sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm inclined to go under on a lot of these things, but I think the yards bets might be good. I think there's going to be a low score. It's going to be lower scoring, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. I like a lot of these. I think Travis Kelce to score touchdowns minus 130. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that seems like dead money. It seems like easy money. Sorry.
Yeah, but like it's crazy that it's like minus 130. You know, like it's so random who scores touchdowns, but they're like he's definitely gonna get one.
Yeah,
he's gonna get a shovel pass.
He scores one almost every game. So
yeah.
I'm also gonna take the first quarter under, because I do that like almost every football game, because they always hit. Not always, but like that's one of my most profitable betting apparatuses that I do.
What is the first half under or first quarter under in this game, you think?
It's going to be under 7.5, I'm sure. I haven't seen the number yet.
Would you take it at under 7.5?
Yeah, that's the number that I usually look for. If it's 7.5 or under, then I bet it, because first quarters are like shutouts almost all the time.
Oh, bet the
first quarter.
Bet the Dogecoin under
9.5. Plus money,
9.5.
under 9.5 plus money first quarter.
That's the same thing as 7.5, man. It's 9.5 and 7.5 are the same number.
Yeah, it's plus 105 though.
Not if they kick 3 field goals. It's not.
In one quarter?
I'm just saying. It's not
in
impossible.
In the first quarter, when everybody's holding the ball for the entire thing and not going fast.
Saying it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. You're right.
Well,
or if
I
there's a
guess
miss, or if there's a miss. I'm sorry. If the Dallas was playing, it's not the same thing. But.
There you go. That's the big one.
so. I've got a couple props, and these are all dumb.
You're right, Al. I should hit it now.
You guys all gave good props. I didn't want to give good props. I wanted to give dumb props. So that's
Matt, I love your props. I fucking love them.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. So I'm going to start off with a roughing the passer penalty at yes for plus 120. The reason I'm doing this is Pat Mahomes is going to be relatively limited, probably on that ankle in the third quarter. With the pass rush that Philadelphia has and them being a little bit amped up, seems like it makes a lot of sense. They're going to – Josh Sweat or someone else is going to come in high, and they're going to give Mahomes 15 yards if they get it.
They're going to want to protect them too, right?
I'm going to take no on that because they're both black.
Oh, Pat Mahomes is loved though. He's different.
So he gets the unnecessary roughness when he's out of bounds, but he doesn't get roughing the passer in the pocket. It's different penalty.
Maybe, but I think roughing the passer. I feel good about that one. I think they're going to protect Mahomes for sure. I get what you're doing. I get it.
I'm just making the Cam Newton joke I've been making for 15 years.
Except that's not a joke. That's factual.
Yeah.
That's sadly factual.
Cam Newton did not get calls.
No, it was upsetting.
Jackson Mahomes, if you guys aren't familiar with Jackson Mahomes' work on TikTok, he is a lot, right? And he's everyone's younger brother. I'm going to go over 1.5 TikToks posted during the game at plus 145. I understand this is probably not going to hit, but that dude loves himself some him. So he's going to be posted like crazy.
I like it more and more, actually. What's this dude gonna be doing for 3.5 hours?
He's gonna be posting dumb shit. Like,
you know how many celebrities he's gonna run into too? He's gonna be like, "Oh, look at me! I'm Jackson Mahomes."
During the duration of the game, it's gonna be like 10. But during the duration of game day, right? Pre-game, post-game, he's gonna be insufferable on TikTok. But I still think he will get to 2 on this one for the plus money. These are all plus money bets, by the way. I'm going to go with Andy Reid talks about a cheeseburger in the post-game press conference for plus 165. I'm going to go yes on that.
He's got to know those odds. Andy Reid loves the fans. He knows those odds.
Yeah. He's going to talk about food for sure. Is it going to be a cheeseburger? Not confident. Arizona is not necessarily known for their cheeseburgers. Is my biggest trepidation with that bet. But yeah.
Wait, where's that heart attack diner place? Is that Arizona?
New Mexico, I think, isn't it?
I don't know. Can we do
some
heart attack? Dude, he's in the Southwest. He's gonna want some Tex-Mex, man.
That's my concern with this, right? Him being covered in barbecue sauce is also a plus 700. If you guys want to get real weird before the end of the game.
Oh, it's in Vegas.
I also am going to go Gatorade color, lime, green, yellow, plus 210. The reason being here is I think the Eagles will win. Philadelphia is crazy about Philadelphia, and I think they're going to find the most Philadelphia Gatorade they can find, and they're going to pour it on them, pour it on the head.
It's always purple or some shit, isn't it?
I know.
It's still possible that it's yellow and it's the Chiefs. So,
yeah. I feel like it's always purple or some shit, even though everybody knows red is the best Gatorade because red is the best flavor of everything.
I love lemon lime, but fruit punch is a great.
I think I saw like clear/water was like plus 10,000 or something, or plus 1,000, 10 to 1. And I was like, damn, I kind of like that, but I don't know. Why's it always got to be a color?
It's going to be purple.
And this is the most important bet I can make, guys. This one is a long shot. I do not think it's going to hit. My faith in this bet is knowing Philadelphia. Philadelphia, you pride on yourselves on being reckless and dumb and going over the top for your Eagles. The over-under at beers sold at the game is 120,000. That would be a record for an NFL game. But my belief in you is in Philadelphia. Look, this is the big game. You've made it here. 36,000 of you are going to be here probably, assuming that half of you. Go get 3 beers. Go get 3 beers. You deserve it. You made it the big game. What's $54 in beers? You know, you spent $1,000 on tickets.
You're going to let those Chiefs fans outdrink you?
Yeah. What are you guys, a bunch of softies? I thought this was Philadelphia.
Better make it 4.
Drinking
Better
town.
make
Yeah,
it 4.
you know what? Make it 5. Make it 5. Go get it, Philadelphia.
I'm going to be sober by the end of this team when the Birds lift the fucking Lombardi? Come on.
No way. Over plus 170. I hope they extend. I'm sure that I forgot the beer cuts off at third quarter. Look, it's a bad bet. It's not going to cover that number. It's like 1.7 beers per person, and that includes children. But
it seems
but
like
come
a
on,
genuinely.
Look,
let's do it.
Look, I go to every single Canes game, and they cut off beer sales at halftime, and I drink 8 beers a game inside.
You can do it, Philadelphia.
I was going to say, it seems like a genuinely bad idea to cut off sales at the Super Bowl in anything. They could be selling like black tar heroin, and they should do it through the fourth quarter.
It's literally like a capitalist show of excess. They should keep selling. Just keep selling. Just
why
selling.
wouldn't you? So I
Do
don't.
they really cut off in the third quarter?
Traditionally,
Every stadium, at least in the upper deck, they cut off in the third quarter. If you're club level, you can buy till the end of the game because they feel like you can afford the drunk driving ticket.
So you can't get sued.
That is
or something.
So those are my prop bets. They're different and they're dumber than everything you heard here before, but let's go. Roughing the passer, I feel good about. The rest of them, let's see what happens. Might as well get exotic.
I'm excited to tally up how we shake out on all these props because there's like 100 prop bets between the 5 of us.
Yeah,
and
they're all different this time. We're not like picking the same games and shit. Should we do like one Cyclone prop bet? Because I feel like we do have one. It's the hot dogs.
Jackson Mahomes over 1.5 TikToks. Is that the one? Let's go. Let's go.
Dude, I don't think you can post 2 TikToks. It takes so long to do your TikTok video and like edit it and everything.
Danny, he's not a tech.
You're such a boomer.
He's a young gentleman.
Oh, guys, you should have seen me trying to order on Uber Eats today. I couldn't get it. It wouldn't let me. It's like, obviously, this was not my fault. But, like, it wouldn't let me, edit, select on Outback, the steak and the sides. And everybody else that ordered, it let them. And I don't understand why it wouldn't let me. And then Missy got on and did it for me. And it's because I was using a different app than everybody else. And
Danny,
my app
do
was
you
broken.
ask your employees to how to save a PDF?
No, I teach them how. I'm not like a fucking actual idiot. This is just fantasy football, and
using your phone.
I don't know how to do a PDF. I actually don't. I can't do anything with computers. Microsoft Excel, not for me.
I love
not for me.
Andy makes a joke as he talks about using a Bing browser too. Let's all put that on the record, internets. Andy's making jokes about.
I would like to be very clear that Andy's recommendation on using Bing to search for college football stats is a good recommendation. Using Bing for college football stats and porn. That's it. Don't use it for anything else.
I haven't tried porn on there, but I'll have to give it a go.
I mean, just go straight to your website and search it. It's not actually better.
I'm an adult. I know how to find porn. I don't need Bing to help me. Bing,
Andy, I would like you to do me a favor and cut this porn conversation out because this is the internet and it's forever, and my daughters may listen to it one day.
Yeah.
There's no chance they'll listen to this shit.
It's fake.
It's certainly not an hour and 37 minutes of this. They might listen to the first 10.
No, not episode 70 of an hour and 30 minutes of it.
Episode 44. We're gonna blow out for episode 50. All right.
We're getting blown for episode 50. That seems like
you
a
want
good
to talk
plan.
about the actual game for a second, or no?
I feel like I did. You want to talk about my Super Bowl party for a second?
Sure.
Chicken wings, brisket, unite. That's it.
All right, that's good. Andy, do you have a lean on this game? I heard all your props, but as far as your bet itself.
Yeah, so I actually gave out a bet last week on the pod that I said I wasn't sure I was going to do, and I ended up locking it up right after the pod. It's a bad bet because you shouldn't tease totals. But
you did that shit.
That Kansas City +2 was just begging me to tease it, and I didn't have anything to tease it with. So I got Kansas City up to 8, and then the total down to 43.5, and I bet the over. So Kansas City +8 and over 43.5.
I mean, that's gonna hit, but
I mean, you're the one that's always telling me like stop betting to make money, just bet for fun. You know,
that was fun, right?
That was fun. I mean, we'll see. I'll let you know on Sunday if it was fun.
No, it was fun now, right? It's fun now. Then it's worth it.
Everybody else seems to be on the Eagles.
-1.5. -1.5. Eagles are gonna win. Also,
I'm not counting out Mahomes and Kelce and Andy Reid and
Sonny, what you got?
Yeah.
So I got I took the over at 51.5, and I did that because I just want to see one hell of a game. Just one hell of a game. Like it doesn't matter to me much which one wins. So like I just want to wake up on Monday and say, fuck yeah. That was a Super Bowl.
Okay.
That sure was super.
Yeah.
That was a Super Bowl. That bowl was super duper.
But outside of that, I did a bunch of y'all's props. Yeah, they're really great ones.
Jackson Mahomes, TikTok's over 1.5.
Definitely that one. Yeah, he's gonna do like one for the halftime show for sure. One like showing he's there, one for the halftime show. And then if they get anywhere close to winning, he's got to do the one where he throws champagne on everybody below him.
So it's during the game technically. So I think it has to be within that 4 hours of the game. So the halftime show is tricky because of the trademarks of music. That's the only fear. I definitely think he's going to do something during the halftime show and then do some dumb bullshit at another time.
I was with you on this, but it just occurred to me. What if he just goes live the whole time? Like that would kill your bet.
That's only one talk.
Right.
Does that even count as one?
Yeah,
it count as one.
But he's not going to go live for 4 hours and not use the bathroom.
This is Jackson Mahomes we're talking about.
He's going to hand the phone to Brittany.
He's going to hand the phone to Brittany.
Well, what I was thinking, Matt, is if the Chiefs are like going to be kneeling it out, he could be getting one or like going live like while they're kneeling it out, being like, "Yeah, we win,"
Yeah.
And then obviously the halftime. So that's your two. So you're almost rooting for the Chiefs. And you should be a lock, but
I guess.
I guess we'll all have to stay glued to our screens and Jackson Mahomes' account.
I'm gonna have to go follow him just for you, Matt.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna do a dumb bet. If you thought your teaser was dumb, Andy, I'm gonna raise you a dumber teaser. I took Philadelphia across the line on a teaser last time, and it worked out gloriously. And I didn't need to tease it at all. It would have hit on any number I could have picked because San Francisco didn't have a quarterback. So like it was a bad bet, but I won, so I don't give a shit.
The only bad bet is one that loses.
Yeah, so I'm taking Philadelphia. I'm taking Philadelphia across the line. I think Philadelphia is a better team, and I think if Kansas City does win, it's going to be a really freaking close game. And I'm taking under 57. The reason I'm taking under 57 is Super Bowls have a tendency to start off slow and be a little more touch and go until the teams get developed. I also think Philadelphia's defense is going to make a potentially hobbled Mahomes have a troublesome day on offense. I'm not worried about Philadelphia's offense against their Kansas City's defense. I am worried about Kansas City's offense. Move it up to 57. That's like a college number. That seems like a lot of points. So Philadelphia plus 4.5 and under 57.
So you're going opposite Andy on both teasers.
Yeah.
And we're going to be rooting for the middle all the
time.
We
can middle. I don't care who wins at this point, as long as Kansas City wins a close one or Philly wins under a touchdown.
Yep.
Matt, can I interest you in let's see.
I heard your Philadelphia 1-10, and I loved it. I'm going.
Well, I was going to say my Chiefs 7.5 and under 55.5 at plus 105.
I'm worried about the Chiefs losing by 10. Okay. So, yes, I am. For plus 105, yes, I am interested. that I am interested in.
You can also do Chiefs plus 7.5 and under 50.5 at plus 160.
So, guys, I have a little bit of...
that's a much better bet for you than Matt.
That is a good one. I like that one a lot.
I have a little bit of a history lesson if you guys want it.
Sure.
The Eagles have been in 3 Super Bowls before this. Andy Reid coached in one of them for the Eagles. Back in the 80s, they lost 27-10 to, I believe, Madden's Raiders. In 2005, I believe that was T.O.'s Eagles, right? They lost T.O. and McNabb's Eagles lost to Brady
And lost to the Buck.
back in 2005. And then
that was the nipple one, right? Was that the nipple game or no? Was that Janet
I
Jackson's
think
nipple?
that was
It
nipple
was
game.
right around there.
It was either 2004 or 2005.
Around?
Hey.
And then
It
about
was in the
5 years
areola.
ago, Goff beat Brady.
No.
No,
Dick
no,
Nick.
Foles.
Oh yeah, Nick Foles. Sorry. No, it would have been Wentz, not Goff.
It
Sorry,
would've- no, but it
I
would've
get
been
Wentz and Goff mixed up so much. So Wentz
Yeah.
went out hurt, and then Foles came in and beat him.
He did the whole playoffs.
Yeah, all the
Foles did,
playoffs.
yeah.
How do we not mention Big Dick Nick in our conversation earlier?
Oh, he's on the Jeff George side for
It's
sure.
literally his nickname.
That's a good point.
Danny and Al, I know you guys have a lot of props, and it seems like Danny, you're leaning Philadelphia. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I got -1.5 in the over. That's what I'm betting.
Over 51.5 and -1.5 for Philly. And Al, what's your feeling, buddy?
On the game?
Yeah.
As a pick? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a good read on the spread. So if I had to take a pick on this game, I'd take the under, but I don't feel particularly great about that either. Yeah, I think I initially when like the lines came out, I was like the Eagles are the move, but sitting on it now and seeing how everyone seems to be on that side, I'm thinking maybe it's the Chiefs, but I don't know. So under 50.5 or whatever it is.
Feels like a 31-28 Eagles victory to me.
In my head, I could see
I'd be
like
good with
a
that.
couple things happen. I could see the Chiefs coming out and just like getting like a 3-touchdown lead, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? Where'd the Eagles go?" And then the Eagles kind of trying to claw back. Or I could see the Chiefs just struggling the whole time trying to score on a really good Eagles defense. So I don't know.
I feel like it's going to be a 0-0 first quarter, though. I might bet an actual 0-0 first quarter line if that's
I like
available.
that first quarter under 9.5 at +105. I like that bet a lot, Danny. I think
Already bet it.
I almost made it. I was thinking about doing it.
It
I'm
looks
a
like
little-
there's 266 bets available for the first quarter because Super Bowl props are the fucking best. So I'm trying to find the first quarter exact score right now.
Well, I am a little concerned about Jalen Hurts. Look, dude's been great all year. This is a big game. Like, this is the big game. So he may come out a little tight at the beginning, and I do see Kansas City maybe jumping out to an early lead. And I love the opportunity to live bet if Kansas City scores first, because this isn't going to be big for Mahomes. Every Super Bowl's big, but he's been here. He's been here twice, right? So it's just another game. It could be just another Super Bowl for him where he'll be a little tight early. But I think Philadelphia's team is a lot better.
You know,
Last time Hurts was in a game this big, he got benched.
Oh, for Tua?
Mm-hmm.
Tua won the game. His team won.
Matt, you make a really good point though in waiting to live bet here because all week or 2 weeks now since lines have come out, everyone's been saying, "Oh, it opened with Kansas City as favorites, and man, I would have loved to have gotten the Eagles with +2.5 or whatever it is." And it's like, you can get that.
Yeah.
You can get that live in game. There will be a time when they are losing, and you can get them with points. You just have to wait for it.
I'm gonna
worst
do the
case scenario,
Danny.
it doesn't happen, and you just don't get to make that bet. But live betting is a great opportunity to get the team you want at the number you want without having to pay a bunch of juice for it.
I'm gonna
While
pull the
they're
Danny
losing.
Bierman- Pull the Danny Bierman. Whoever scores first, I'm gonna take the other side most likely and just say, hey, let's see what happens. Right? Kansas City goes to +6.5. Feel pretty good about that. Or Philadelphia goes to a more indecent number. What do they go to, like +2.5? Sure. I like Philadelphia to win the game.
I also like the idea of taking the over when we're like 2 minutes into the second quarter after the first or second punt, and then the teams are going to start scoring.
I like that too. Just chill on it. Take the counter bet it.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
Open Roof Stadium?
I think it is both, but I actually know it's closed because they roll the grass out to get watered in the sun. And they bring it in.
So it'll be closed for the game, I assume.
But natural, it would be grass. I don't know. I didn't look at like numbers on grass versus turf. See how that affects the game lines.
It's grass though, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know if turf.
Nobody plays on turf anymore except. Does even Indianapolis play on turf anymore?
I have no idea. Just saying things
What
I've
do you mean
heard.
by turf? Because there's a lot of people artificial.
Even the artificial stuff doesn't have the same it's not AstroTurf anymore. It's like closer to grass now. Doesn't have the same change in spreads or whatever.
All right, we good? We did this?
Yeah.
Andy, drink. I don't know if I can tell anyone to
Cheers.
drink, but I'm going to tell you to
Why
drink.
not?
Sunshine, go.
You know what? I'll drink too. Man, we gave you good Super Bowl coverage, an hour and 50. Damn.
Yeah.
Well done, boys.
No,
Was it good? Was it good?
I don't know.
I had fun.
There was definitely at least 45 minutes of solid content in that.
I would agree with that.
If we had a good editor,
around this long.
if we had a professional editor that we could pay to go through and get the good content out of this would be a good podcast. But we don't, so that you have a below average podcast to listen to. Thanks, people.
You don't have anything to do tomorrow, Danny. You want to?
Every
I have
listening device has a fast forward button.
Everybody, be your own editor.
Just listen to us on 1.5 times speed.
I listen to us on double speed. That's good.
Oh, it makes my brain hurt listening to things that fast. I can't process fast enough.
Get some ADD. It sounds better.
Same. All right. Good night, Joey.
Good night,
Joey.
Joey. He doesn't listen to